We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. Here we are with the SPY. We're going to look at some different charts here with 42 Vision because I get asked in the comments section a lot about it. And when you come across the channel for the first time, I briefly talk about it. But in today's video, we're going to break down how 42 Vision allows us to spot reversals from the dips to the rips, as well as in conjunction with the confirmations of inflow versus outflow and the bull and bear indicators, right? So here we are with the SPY on the 1 minute chart here on the left and on the 5 minute chart here on the right. Now, when you look at it here, it hit a dip area here on the 1 minute, and that was slightly around this first volatile move here within the volatility. Now, it was not in a dip area just yet on the 5 minute. And I'm going to pull up now the inflow versus outflow and the bull and bear indicators. And you can now gain access to this as well and join a community of members using these resources to maximize in either direction, whether stocks are going up or going down, and also using these resources to receive that clarity and edge over the charts, guys. Check out the link down below. You'll gain access to the Discord, our bots, and the 42 Vision indicators. So here we are with the 1 minute. Look how much choppiness going on here within the 1 minute chart. And that was around this whole area. And you could see how inflows crossed over on the 1 minute. And it did have a bull indicator, and it popped up from 379 to 381. Now, that's a nice 10 to 30% plus move in just a few minutes. But quickly a bear indicator popped up, and you could see here how the outflows crossed and things fell down to a dip area. And within this volatility, it kept coming back to that dip area and finding support here. And you could see it here on the 5 minute, that sideways action. Now, on the 5 minute though, within all of this volatility here, right, that one bar here going into the open, well, the inflows were not above the midpoint. So this was very risky here around this area on the 1 minute. Now, on the 5 minute, it looked like it was coming up, but no confirmation of real strength over the chart because the inflows never crossed over. Then quickly things switched right back down. It crossed over here on the 1 minute. You could see it there pulling down from green to red on the 5 minute. And when it finally hit a dip area here, it hit a reversal point where it went from red to green. And then these inflows started to pick up here, and you could see that circle right there around that dip area. It got a bull indicator here at around 378, and within all this chop, inflows finally started to come back up, right? It got that bull indicator there, pulled back down, and then it started to reverse. And within this volatility from red to green bars, you could see the inflows crossed over. They were up above the midpoint within this chop. Things were pulling upwards. Full transitions here from the dip to the rip, and you could see the movement there on the 5 minute. And once those inflows finally crossed over here from this bar here at 10:15 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Eastern time, and followed by that bull indicator, well, that was right around this chop here. So the 1 minute showed us ahead of time what's going on, and then the 5 minute added that extra layer of confirmation within the move, and things went from 379 all the way up to 382 once those confirmations were confirmed. But it started way back here at 378, and you could see the full transition there from white with red borders to bright green. Now, if we look at Tesla here, and you can see in the chart as well, the 1 minute was very choppy here, right? And also very, very weak at the beginning of the day. So let's go ahead and pull this up and look at this in a much more zoomed in period, and you could see what was going on here at open. So to begin here on the 1 minute, it got a bear indicator here at around 126. Things were sitting sideways, and the outflows were fighting there, right? And the inflows. And finally at the bell, the outflows crossed over. We went from green, right, dark green, to red, and then red to white with red borders, which is the dip area. And not only that, but the 5 minute was trying to come back up, and it rejected within that area and quickly switched from dark green to white with red borders. So right now, this was already under a bear indicator early on in the pre-market. The 1 minute confirmed with another bear indicator just a few minutes before the bell, and then the outflows crossing over and rejecting on the 5 minute were the confirmations here on top of those bear indicators not getting canceled by a bull indicator, and the weakness started to arise, and things fell really quickly from 126 to 121. Now, here you could see it sideways action trying to go ahead and find some type of support, and you could see the chop starting to change and trying to change from white with red borders to red with green borders and dark green, but it didn't get a bull indicator until right around this area, which was slightly between that shift here on the 5 minute. You could see that circle popped up. I'll remove it again and you could see it pop up there. It was right around that area of white with green borders to dark green, as you see there, transitioning, right? And what we had going on here is the inflows already crossed over on the 1 minute, right? Before that bull indicator, right? So that was one confirmation there. The bull indicator was another one. And then on top of that, the inflows were picking up here on the 5 minute. But once they crossed over, right around this area, right after that bull indicator, we got a bull indicator shortly after that. So even right here, the risk was the highest, right? Going from around 122 to that 123 area. But once that bull indicator popped up and confirmed, right around 123 was where we had all the confirmations right around here. And you could see it, it's going to be right around up this area, is where things actually started to pick up with the confirmation of the inflows. Inflows were up on the 1 minute. It was under a bull indicator as well, slightly before that bull indicator on the 5 minute. And things were looking pretty strong within those transitions. And things continued from 123 to highs here of 128. On an options chain, any of those options probably went up 50% to 100% plus with such a move within Tesla, right? When it came to calls. And on the way back down, well, it was a little bit later on the 5 minute, but the 1 minute did the full transition early on. I mean, way up here, right? That bear indicator popped up right around this same bar, and you could see how the inflow slowed down. And once they turned slightly red, it was right around the area of these green bars, and it was within these moves as these outflows started to dominate. So right here, you can see that in either direction, we have higher risk, right, with the 1 minute before confirming on the 5 minute. But when it sets up like this, like we saw on the SPY, and on this run up, right, with this bull indicator, these inflows crossing over here on the 1 minute, bull indicator as well, and full strength to the upside. Once you have those multiple confirmations, that's where, as an investor, one has a higher probability of opportunity going in their favor. It's not guaranteed, right? And 42 vision is to not be followed blindly. It's for discretionary trading purposes only, but it brings perspective over the charts, not just for me, but for all the members in the community, right? It's not just me using this. There's a community of members using this, and you can become part of it as well. And we use this daily to strive for opportunities like the ones you see every single day when I share with you guys the home run of the day, as you see one popping up here on the screen, when you see the SPY bot, when it sent out a notification and things were setting up and those inflows or outflows crossed over. You could see it there popping up on the screen as well. And every single day, volatility will exist. That's my opinion and my perspective alone. And within this volatility, having a clarity over the charts makes all the difference. I showed the SPY and Tesla as examples here, but every single chart can be used, and you can chart any stock, any commodity, and even crypto, right? I could just pull up Bitcoin here, and you could see that even crypto can be seen within the charts, guys. It charts anything, the inflow versus outflow, the bull and bear indicators. And one of the things I always look for, and I encourage members, right, and users of 42 Vision to find a strategy that works for them and to stick to it. And one of the things I do is I use the 1 minute and the 5 minute, and I look for multiple confirmations with the bull and bear indicators. the transitions on 42 vision from the dip to the rip, or from the rip to the dip, and those inflow versus outflow confirmations here as well when they cross over, or even when they begin, and how things are looking on the other time frames. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.